Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. Roseville residents are shocked by an alleged sex crime at a popular park. The latest on the investigation so far. Then, what's being done to tackle the invasive golden mussels in the Sacramento region? The ABC10 Plus recap starts now.
We're learning new details following an attempted rape at the popular Dry Creek Community Park in Roseville. The Placer County Sheriff's Office, leading the investigation, says the woman who called did exactly what she was supposed to do. Today, they identified the suspect in custody, saying it was an isolated incident. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias has the update.
Visitors of Dry Creek Community Park are still trying to grasp the idea of an attempted rape happening here near a walking trail.
That's hard to believe. That's just so hard to believe.
I was shocked. I always thought it was pretty nice around here, and now I kind of think something different now.
The Placer County Sheriff's Office says the call came in around 5:30 Sunday afternoon.
Throughout the course of the phone call, the woman was screaming, asking for help, really amplifying how serious of a situation we were dealing with here.
The woman said a man had approached her and was trying to hold her.
The woman said that she was just out enjoying the trail when a man approached her, tried grabbing her arm, and then at some point during that encounter, he exposed himself and tried to get close to her while exposed.
But the woman was able to break free, and once on scene, deputies established a perimeter around the entire area. Armed with a clear description of the suspect, and with the help of these surveillance cameras located in the park, deputies arrested 27-year-old Sergey Fedchik within 20 minutes. The sheriff's office says he's from the Sacramento area, but it's unknown if he's homeless.
This event is very unusual for this area. Yeah, I don't recall us ever having anything along these lines happen here, which does express that it is a safe area to be, and people should not be scared to come out to this area to enjoy the trails or anything like this.
Elise Soviar, the spokesperson for the sheriff's office, says people should still take precautions, such as having a phone on hand, sharing your location, and traveling in groups. They'll also continue to have their assigned deputy to this area keep patrolling.
I think it'll still be safe, hopefully.
In Roseville, Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Roxanne, thank you. The sheriff's office says the suspect is facing a felony charge of attempted rape. Now it's up to the district attorney's office as to what official charges will be filed.
Well, tonight, Democratic lawmakers in Texas are away from their home state as a way to prevent their legislature from moving forward with redrawing the state's congressional maps. Now, that proposed redistricting is a plan backed by President Trump. The proposal could possibly eliminate 5 Democratic U.S. House seats ahead of the 2026 midterms. This could help Republicans maintain control in the U.S. House. Well, tonight we have reporting from Chicago, where Texas Democrats are looking for support. But first, Governor Gavin Newsom is giving more details on what a possible special election on redistricting would look like here in California. And meanwhile, a California Republican congressman is introducing legislation to stop this process nationwide. Lots of news going on, so ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen joins us now to explain.
Becca, Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley says politicians should not be in charge of redrawing district lines. That's why he's introducing a bill that would stop mid-decade redistricting. In response, Governor Newsom says he's just creating response to the attack on our democratic principles.
Now there's a scheme that has been hatched by the governor to push aside that independent citizens commission, to invalidate the congressional map that they created.
Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley is referring to Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to hold a special election to redistrict the state. On Monday, Governor Newsom announced he has been working and planning with the legislature.
The maps, we believe, should be transparent. They should be provided in a transparent way to the public. And as a consequence, those maps are being processed and will be brought to light.
The governor adding he has not seen the maps, nor does he have details on what they look like. The state's current redistricting process was put in place by voters in 2010 under the Voters First Act, giving that responsibility to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission, an independent group who uses census data to draw the lines. Because of that, Congressman Kiley hopes his new bill will reinforce this existing process.
I think that's the right approach. It's what we've done the last 2 times we've done redistricting at the start of the decade.
If passed, Kylie's bill would prevent all states from redistricting too early. Kylie says politicians should not be redrawing lines, calling it a conflict of interest.
I think it's a very bad move. It's a very unhealthy thing for democracy in our state, and my bill would make sure it doesn't happen.
In response to Kylie's legislation, Governor Newsom says what the state is doing is just a response to what President Trump is doing to try and get more Republicans in Congress.
Putting ourselves in a position to respond to the assault on the rule of law and our democratic principles.
Even though the governor has been having conversations with lawmakers to plan this potential special election, he did say this would only happen under one circumstance.
Triggered on the basis of what occurs or doesn't occur in Texas. I hope they do the right thing. And if they do the right thing, then there'll be no cause for us to have to move forward. But again, we're working with the legislature on a trigger that if they do move forward, California will not sit by idly and watch this democracy waste away. We'll fight fire with fire.
And to reiterate, if this special election happens and maps are successfully redrawn, the governor says it would only be applied to maps in 2026, 2028, and 2030. After that, it will revert back to its original form, and we will once again rely on the Independent Redistricting Commission. Becca.
Jeannie, thank you so much. Well, Texas Democrats could be away from their home state for days or even weeks. The Texas House Speaker issued civil arrest warrants for them today, while political strategists say this might have been the Democrats' only move to block redistricting in their state. Reporter Jason Whiteley is in Chicago, where lawmakers remain tonight.
The Texas legislature is out of business, for now at least. Democrats, making up a third of the House of Representatives, flew to Chicago, a move that will temporarily delay a Republican bill to redraw congressional lines and make it easier for Republicans to win in next year's midterm elections.
This is politicians choosing their constituents rather than voters choosing their elected officials. And when you put it in those terms, that makes people really, really mad. Voters want to be able to choose their elected officials, not the other way around.
State Rep. Mihaela Plesa from Plano, among a handful of Democrats in New York State, getting support from Governor Kathy Hochul there. Dozens more outside Chicago, where Illinois Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker is lending support. Leaving the state, stalling the legislature, is really the only move Texas Democrats had. And they are criticizing Governor Abbott for making redistricting a priority over flood relief.
Just because one item, redistricting, was first on the list doesn't mean any of the other items are any less important. So at the end of the day, Democrats, I think, are betting their entire political future now on this political gambit.
But Jean Wu is refusing to show up for work.
Governor Abbott already on the offense, spending $750,000 for online ads that started today, urging Democrats to go back to work. Republican House Speaker Dustin Burrows issued civil arrest warrants for Democrats this afternoon. It's a symbolic move, meaning if the Democrats are seen in Texas, they can be detained and returned to the Capitol. But Democrats insist the 30-day special session is over, and that would require them to remain out of state for at least the next 16 days until it officially ends. In Chicago, I'm Jason Whiteley.
And you know, this is far from the first time the question of redistricting has thrown a chaotic wrench into national and state politics. For some historical context, I spoke today with local political analyst and former California political reporter Steve Swat.
Redistricting is a purely political effort, and it's out of hand this year.
Sacramento-based political analyst Steve Swat says Democrats need a net gain of 3 seats in next year's midterm elections to take control of the U.S. House of Representatives.
The midterm elections, after a president is first elected, or in this case Trump's second election, quite often goes against the party in power. And if you go back to Obama in 2008, he lost 61 seats in the 2010 elections. Go then forward to Trump, he lost 43 seats after this 2016 election. And so with Trump's lower than expected approval ratings, the Democrats feel pretty confident that everything being equal, they have a chance to take back the House. And they see this effort by the president to get rid of that equality.
President Trump is pressuring Republican states like Texas to redraw their districts to counteract that midterm trend.
It could easily backfire. If California now gets involved, and if New York, another Democratic state, gets involved, and Illinois said they'll get involved, you've got this political war going on.
He said he's in favor of California Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley's bill to block redistricting in any state in between censuses.
I think that's a great idea. I don't think it'll pass because I think Republicans in the House are so enamored of Trump and are afraid to go against him that many of them would not go for this legislation. But the legislation makes sense, at least on the surface. Let's have an even playing field and see where the chips fall.
He says if California moves forward with redistricting, California Republicans could stand to lose 5 or 6 seats. They currently have 9 statewide. Meanwhile, California Democrats hold 43 seats in the House. Well, right now on the ABC10 Plus streaming TV app, we have more on the redistricting clash after Texas Democrats left their state. Just search for Redistricting on the home screen. The app is free to download to your TV.
Turning now to an issue that has sidelined summer fun for so many families all across the area. Invasive golden mussels have been spreading up and down the state since first being discovered in North America just about 10 months ago.
Today, ABC10's Gabriel Porras visited the area they were first discovered and has more on what's being done to stop them.
Near a closed-off dock Monday, just waves away from the heart of Stockton's ports.
Just like that.
Local leaders touring the heart of a now statewide problem.
Those are some pilings that were recently pulled probably a few weeks ago that have big mats of golden mussels attached to them.
The invasive golden mussel species detected for the first time in North America right here near the port of Stockton last October. Since then, a state map shows they've traveled as far south as LA County.
We're learning a lot about them, what they like to attach to, the amount of light that they like. This is a new environment for them. The fear is that they could clog water intakes throughout the area.
27 million Californians depend on water from right here, and all that water is at risk. We need more resources.
Meanwhile, inside a lab in Davis,
the treatment, we'll have to figure it out.
A team of scientists is already on it.
Yeah, so we look for naturally occurring microorganisms, natural products to control invasive species.
Pam Marone leads the group at the Invasive Species Corporation. They already have a product that deals with other types of mussels.
And we're adapting that to control the golden mussels. And we have tested it here in our lab, and we're getting very high kill of the mussels, golden mussels, but at a higher dosage than the zebra and quagga mussels. These are really hardy, which makes me worry.
Also worrisome is that the team's current product is designed for pipes in small areas.
For large water bodies, that would be the Generation 2 product, which we would be hoping to have out next year.
A disruptive species looms below the surface, but there is now hope on the horizon.
It's really important to prevent it from spreading further because of the destruction that it does cause.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Gabriel, thank you. Congressman Harder and other California Democrats are trying to pass a $15 million bill to create a task force for research, prevention, control, and to eradicate golden mussels. The bill is in committee.
A liquidation sale underway at the grocery outlet at the corner of Zinfandel and Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. We learned Sunday the location plans to close permanently because of an expiring lease. Right now, all grocery, deli meat, produce, wine, and beer are 20% off. And general merchandise, as well as health and beauty items, are 30% off. We're also tracking the latest on the economy and President Trump's trade war tonight. New tariffs are set to take effect on Friday.
And this comes on the heels of the firing of the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics after the president says last week's jobs report was, quote, rigged. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest tonight.
A big bounce back on Wall Street today. It comes as President Trump's trade war ramps up, with new tariffs set to take effect on Friday, affecting most of America's trading partners. The president's executive order raising tariffs on nearly 70 countries. All countries will now face at least 10% tariffs, while others will face tariffs ranging from 15% to as high as 40%. Economists say prices will likely go up for the average American on everything from electronics to cars and produce. According to Reuters, the European Union striking a deal with President Trump, agreeing to delay retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods by 6 months. Meanwhile, the president also weighing in on firing the top official at the Bureau of Labor Statistics after last week's weaker-than-expected jobs report.
We'll be announcing a new
statistician sometime over the next 3 or 4 days. We had no confidence. I mean, the numbers were ridiculous.
President Trump posted today on social media the jobs report was rigged, but there's no evidence of that. Experts warn a political appointee could actually skew the data.
When you go and look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, they are a nonpartisan agency. They put out information on what is happening in the U.S. economy. If we're not getting reliable information, it becomes much harder for the Federal Reserve to be able to adjust its interest rates based on the actual functioning of the economy.
A top White House economic advisor admits that the job numbers were slower than expected, but also defended the president's decision to fire that top labor data official. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
New at 5, we're getting a closer look at this year's big Tower Bridge dinner menu. The dinner is the biggest event in the annual Sacramento Farm to Fork Festival. The bridge is shut down and turned into a massive dining room featuring dishes from top local chefs using locally grown and sourced ingredients. Today, those chefs gave us a first look at what they've got planned for this year. For the first time, instead of bringing their own dishes, the chefs are working as a team to craft a single, unified menu.
We sat down, we had 2 big pizzas and 2 bottles of wine and a 6-pack of beer, and we made it happen. And it was not only was it fun to create this menu, but it really got conversation started about what is indigenous food culture in California.
Not a bad day at work. Well, this year's Farm to Fork Festival runs from September 26th to the 28th, moving this year from Capitol Mall to the area inside and around the Safe Credit Union Convention Center in downtown Sacramento. Of course, we're all hungry right now. Let's bring in Monica. Not a bad idea to take your dinner outside, I think.
I was going to say, how's it looking if people have planned for maybe dinner outside this evening?
I love that idea because it's not going to last long. You know, these gorgeous conditions, we knew there was going to eventually warm up in place, right? As far as our satellite and radar, clear skies overhead, a little bit of cloud cover in Southern California, but mostly lower impact day for us with a nice onshore flow and temperatures running right around the upper 80s to near 90 up and down the valley and towards the coast. 70s along the coast for San Francisco, 80s in the foothills and 70s for the Sierra. So slightly below average once again, and that's largely where we've been to start off August. Friday and Saturday, the first couple of days of August, right on target, 93 degrees. That is our average high right now. Yesterday, we had a high of 90. Nice onshore flow and a little bit cooler. Now, tomorrow will be the last day that we have an average high of 93 degrees. We've spent 28 days with the hottest daily average high temperature that we see through the year. The next time we'll see a stretch like that will be the coldest daily average high temperature, 55 degrees. We got to wait until December to get there. But we're kind of on the back edge of all the dry and hot weather. It's been 127 days since we've seen rainfall over 1/10 of an inch. We have to go all the way back to March 30th. We're starting to edge towards that time of year. We start thinking about precipitation, not so much in August, but by September into October, we start seeing those average precipitation numbers climbing. So we're almost through the driest and hottest time of the year. Just a little something to look forward to. All right, right now on this Monday, we've got clear skies, temperatures in the upper 80s to right around 90 in the Valley. Tahoe right now 73. Our sunset is at 8:13. Tomorrow we'll start off with that nice light breeze, 58 degrees for our morning low, and then we'll start to see our afternoon temperatures climb. Now tomorrow's going to be pretty similar to today. We spend most of the day in the 70s and 80s. Even at 2 p.m. we're at 84 degrees. It's not until we get to that little window between 4 and 5 o'clock that we start to see those peak temperatures lasting until about 6 o'clock with readings in the upper 80s to right around the low 90s. But that's about it for tomorrow. That little low pressure system featuring that nice onshore flow is going to say goodbye to us for a couple of days, and in come some high pressure ridges, and that will bring us sinking warming air and a taste of that summer heat, which has largely been absent from this summer so far. Highs in the upper 70s for the Tahoe Basin for tomorrow, 80s to lower 90s as we head down the hill. Along the coast, we've got highs in the 60s. Take that inland, we'll get to the 80s and lower 90s. Again, a little bit below average for tomorrow. Not by much, pretty close to where we should be this time of year. Beautiful morning lows in the 50s. Cool, refreshing start to the day. Our 5-day regional forecast mainly showcases some mild weather through the middle of the week. It's not until we get to the end of the week and into the this weekend that we'll start to see some of that heat building. You'll see it in our extended forecast, certainly starting to see more warmth building in by the end of the week, upper 90s to near 100. Nothing widespread, but certainly a couple of places will be hitting those triple digits by the middle and end of this week.
Oh, it makes those cooler mornings even more valuable.
This certainly does.
So true. Okay, Monica, thank you.
All year, To The Point has been visiting our region's fastest growing cities. And coming up Wednesday at 6:30, we're headed to Elk Grove. We've been speaking with residents, the school district, and city leaders about concerns and what is planned next for the community. Tonight, ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen shows us why traffic is facing scrutiny and what city leaders are doing about it.
For more than 2 decades, Elk Grove has been more than just a place to live for Jason Hamilton. When he and his wife started growing a family, they knew Elk Grove was the ideal community to call home.
Better school districts. Elk Grove does have a good school district, and we had kids in elementary school at the time, so we wanted to come out here. And also we like the culture. It's really diverse out here.
And life moved at a slower pace.
Traffic wasn't as bad at all. You can get from one side to the other probably in, I'd say, half the time that you can now.
But over the last 10 years, Jason,
If they send the offer,
a realtor by day, noticed a change.
At that point, then you had a lot of people from the Bay Area coming out here because it was, they could sell their house out there and come up here and pay cash.
With longtime Elk Grove residents seeing more of their neighbors coming from the Bay Area, it's brought more traffic, especially along major roadways like here along Elk Grove Boulevard and Laguna Boulevard.
The real-time video feed.
City officials say residents' top complaint is traffic. That's why the city's traffic engineering division is developing more tools to try and ease traffic concerns.
So we can monitor traffic signal congestion, and we can see, hey, if the signal or the congestion's backing up to Highway 99, we can take a look, hey, is something going on, what's wrong? We're able to flush traffic out of the way.
The city has 160 traffic signals and uses video detection to monitor traffic volumes. If there are issues with signals, the city is able to fix it in real time in this center.
The signals are timed in a coordinated, synchronized fashion to where you should get a progression of 5 or 6 green lights in a row, and that's all based on traffic volumes and time of day.
The city is working on a new system that will calculate traffic in real time rather than just during peak commute times. It's expected to roll out this fall.
That's where the video detection cameras come in, and they give us counts throughout the day, and then it says, hey, I only had 50 cars, I don't need as much green time, next time go around. So when another 50 cars come, it's going to use less time. And then if 60 cars show up, it'll give it a little bit more green time.
The city is also building a new interchange at Whitelock Parkway.
So it's going to be a long process, but the city does have a project allocated for this, and we're still looking for funding opportunities.
While many longtime Elk Grove residents can't stand the traffic,
she doesn't want to play.
Former Bay Area resident Jonathan Lee says it's one of the main reasons he chose to move to the area 5 years ago.
I wanted something that I didn't want to sit in traffic a lot.
Jonathan says settling in was an easy transition.
So there's a lot of parks, lakes, and I'm very close to one of my favorite places, Tahoe.
Another major factor in leaving the pricey Bay Area was the high cost of housing. As a realtor, Jonathan often sees many people like himself relocating to Elk Grove for its affordability.
They could buy more house for almost half the price up in Elk Grove and Sacramento. They can get bigger houses, more land.
Housing analyst Ryan Lundquist says Elk Grove's growth peaked during the pandemic, with low interest rates and the promise of a great deal. While things have calmed down, Lundquist says Elk Grove remains a hot spot.
I think single family is the dominant force in Elk Grove, and so last year there were about 430 homes that were built, according to North State BIA data. They came in fourth in the region. Only Sacramento, Roseville, and Rancho Cordova were ahead of Elk Grove.
And now there is a specific part of the city that's seeing a majority of the new development.
Mostly 95757 zip code, and that's sort of the hotbed for new construction. But what you're going to see is a bunch of stucco. You're going to see smaller lots and everything being built close together. A lot of two-story units because those are less expensive to build typically.
As Elk Grove continues to change, newcomers like Jonathan say,
I feel like the opportunities at Elk Grove is continually going to grow.
While longtime residents like Jason believe
We're here. We're not going anywhere for the near future. We have a you know, kids and grandkids tying us here, so we're here.
In Elk Grove, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
To learn more about the concerns in Elk Grove and what's being planned for the city's future, don't miss our To The Point special on Elk Grove's growth, Wednesday at 6:30, only on ABC 10.
An international entertainer, one of the most famous stage acts in the world, will be in Sacramento tonight. You can still get a ticket. ABC 10's Mark S. Allen has more this morning. And is it also a book signing too, Mark?
Yeah, it's a book signing. It's a meet and greet. It's all of that. It's exciting for me. Like, I don't know if you've seen Penn and Teller on stage live. The longest running magic duo in Vegas history with their residency there. They sold out Thunder Valley at the beginning of the summer. And look, the Capitol Book's right behind me. Look, it's literally right next door. It only makes sense that they're doing this. He will be here tonight to hang out, to talk about his life, and to talk about the book. I love it. It's a reunion of sorts. I used to have a show on Comedy Central called Short Attention Span Theater. He was my announcer, so I met up with them on Zoom over the weekend. I'm looking forward to the reunion tonight. Take a listen.
Remember, I said short attention span theater many, many times.
I can only imagine. I don't know if you wrote it or ad-libbed some of the bumps, but you said one time, I know there are so many live opportunities to watch great television, but instead we offer short attention span theater with Marcus Allen. Thank you. Talk about moments in this book that truly came from your moments on the streets, busking or whatever, that might even be therapeutic.
Well, you know, Steve Martin said if you want desperately to be in show business and have no talent, you go into magic. And I think that's true, but there's a step down from that, and that is juggling, which is just practice. And I was from a small town. I guess I still am from a small town in Western Massachusetts. And I wanted so much to be in the show business, and I had no idea how to do it. So I just practiced all the time and got to be a pretty good juggler. And then just left home and went out on the streets and in bars anywhere I could juggling and trying to, in some way, put together an act.
One of the hardest working people in show business. If you like Penn and Teller, you're going to love getting to know how Penn Jillette became Penn Jillette. The book is fictional, although he says largely inspired by his life. And so there's a lot of like jumping trains and busking. That's certainly what he did in real life. The bank robbery in it, I'm hoping that part is fictional. I do know this. I love his voice. Such a unique voice. And he said one of his performances, the PA gave out, he had to shout to 500 people for a solid 12-hour day, and that's where the voice went out. Hey, it's Ross. Ross owns Capitol Books. How are you doing, sir?
Good.
You have romance novel signings all the time. I don't know I've seen this level of celebrity here. This is a big get. How did it happen?
They just emailed us and asked if we were interested, and I'm like, of course.
Got it. Tickets were about to be sold out this morning. We've been saying that I'm doing the Q&A, so ticket sales have dropped off considerably since announcing that I'm a part of it. However, there are still, no joke, a couple tickets left.
There are some tickets left, both regular general admission and for the meet and greet afterwards.
All right, so having read the book, do you think he robbed a bank?
I hope not.
Let's find out. But there are some things he did do to become famous. He literally hopped trains to travel city to city to do what he does. Back to you, Walt.
Yeah, he's from Greenfield, Mass., which is very remote. It's almost in Vermont. Might as well be in Vermont, which is a beautiful state, too. So, Mark, how do people get tickets, and what time is the show?
Doors open at 6, show is at 7 o'clock. Tickets still available. Where would we go to get them?
CapitalBooksOnK.com.
There you go. We'll link that to ABC10.com.
Love it. All right, looking forward to that. And no Teller, just Jillette tonight.
Right, and I'll try to be silent, but I'll speak just enough to irritate people.
Oh, come on now. It might be fun to be his sidekick. This could open up some doors for you.
Thanks so much for watching this ABC10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.